Hi, everyone. It's Professor Fernandez here. I'm super excited to talk to you a little bit about the rhetorical situation. Um, Hopefully, by now, you have watched the PowerPoint presentation, which is like an overview of the rhetorical situation. Um, it's a difficult concept to get, but once you get it, you got it. And like you'll use it forever for the rest of your life, hopefully. So I'm in these series of videos. What I want to do is go through each of them individually, maybe give a little bit more of an explanation of what they are, um, before I give you the keys to the car and you guys go off on your own and try to do the rhetorical situation on a piece of rhetoric or a piece of writing. So, as always, I'm going to do a screen share here. Um, Yay, screen share. And I'm gonna screen share with my iPad, and you should see something here. Okay, so let's start with a review. So you have 5 steps of the rhetorical situation, correct? So the idea with the rhetorical situation is that it's very formulaic. It's very much like a recipe, and I think maybe you guys saw kind of the analogy I made there. Um, when you follow the recipe, it comes out how it's supposed to. In theory, there are some recipes I don't know, but in theory, if you follow the recipe, it'll turn out the way it's supposed to turn out. When you start substituting other things or when you start skipping steps, it comes out as a big hot mess. So you need to think about the rhetorical situation as a recipe. To understand the argument and how the argument is made. That's the purpose, to understand the argument of a piece of rhetoric and how that argument is made. And so we start with the writer's purpose here. And for this video, I'm going to go in depth with the writer's purpose, but I want to label out all the steps first. Then you have audience here. You have topic. You have context. And you have, of course, the strategy. Okay. We're going to talk here about the writer's purpose first. So when we're looking at the writer's purpose, we are actually not doing what the word says, right? We look at something like the word purpose, and we're thinking the reason why things happen, right? I want you to forget about the word purpose in this. We're just looking at the writer, right? And that's I don't know why it's labeled writer's purpose. Well, actually, I do know why it's labeled writer's purpose. It's labeled writer's purpose because sometimes you do get the purpose of why the writer wrote the thing, but usually you don't. And I am hard pressed to think about an example this semester of anything that we're reading this semester where you can research it and the writer is going to say, yes, I wrote this story because I wanted to talk about this. Very rarely do writers talk about why they wrote something. They usually write the thing and it's your job to figure out why. So I want you to forget the word purpose here. This is really about the writer and their background. So you want to talk about their background or find their background, and that background really could be about their writing life, what they've written in the past, um, what they think about their writing, like if they write about certain themes or certain subjects. Maybe they love to talk about the uh, the goal of humanity in a dystopian world, right? Maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe they have a subject that's very near and dear to them. Maybe they write a lot about relationships between mothers and daughters. And so most of their work, not all of it, but most of their work talks about that. And so that's kind of one thing you want to look at. You definitely want to look at maybe other things that they've written. Not saying not saying that you need to go and read everything that, say, Martin Luther King Jr. has written, unless, of course, you're in my honors class, of which we are actually going to read other things than Letter from Birmingham Jail. But you may want to think about um, looking at another piece or knowing that another piece is similar to the piece that you're reading. For example, taking Dr. King as an example, you read Letter from Birmingham Jail as we're reading in 1302, and maybe you're looking at the essay, where do we go from here? Maybe you're not reading the entire essay, maybe you're reading a summary of the essay, and the essay, in that summary of the essay, you see that he's touching on the same themes or topics or subjects, just in a different way. And so that's maybe another thing you want to look at. Um, you may also want to look at maybe any specific things that they do in their writing. I'm gonna call it writing things. Um, Using Dr. King as an example as well, Dr. King is really good at analogies. He's fantastic at talking about the boil of racism, something like that. He's really good at the metaphors, right? And he's really good at boiling stuff down using figurative language. So you definitely want to know a little bit about that. You want to know more about, despite, in addition to their writing life, maybe they've done something in their actual life that led to the writing. For example, we're going to be studying Kurt Vonnegut. If you're in my regular 1302, if you're not, if you're in my honors 1302, sorry, we're not going to be studying Kurt Vonnegut, at least as of right now. um, so if we're studying, say, Kurt Vonnegut, he is a World War II vet, and so some of the things he talks about is things that he has seen or thoughts he's had as a vet of World War II. I believe he was a prisoner of war as well, and so that kind of informs the writing. So I'm going to put here informs. And in addition to their background, you definitely want to know about family, education, nuts and bolts type of thing. Um, Blah blah blah, right? Those type of things. Did they have children? Did they did they not have children? Did they go to school? Do they have a master's degree? Do they not? You also want to know about jobs, right? Say if you're reading something by Lalami, right, that we're going to read in regular 1302, you know that she has written 5 other books and she has a master's degree in creative writing, right? So that is definitely something you want to look at. In addition to that, the background stuff, that's the easy part. What is challenging in the writer's purpose is that you want to know about the conversation they are having. And this actually kind of bleeds into another part of the rhetorical situation topic and sometimes context. So, what is the conversation that the writer is having? This is a statement you'll probably hear me say lots during the semester. And what that means is, what topics are they engaging with and why? Um, Again, like Kurt Vonnegut, he was a World War II vet, and he actually was in the behind the enemy lines. I believe in France, I believe. Whew, that was a stretch in my head. It's been a while since I had to recall that information. And so he- what conversation is he having with, say, um a different form of government other than democracy that he's having with Harrison Bergeron? What is he saying about um the idea um of equality in Harrison Bergeron, right? Because in addition to the conversation that they're having, and this goes into context, you want to know when things were written. Again, this bleeds into context. Um, so I say something like Harrison Bergeron, or something like Letters from Birmingham Jail. We know that those were written in the 60s, during the time of lots of civil unrest during the civil rights movement. You're seeing these images on television, which was a relatively new medium at that time. It's comparable to social media in our time, where you can see things happening live, and no one's telling it to you. You're watching people getting bitten by uh, police dogs. You're seeing people being washed away with high pressured hoses. You're seeing a bloody Sunday was another thing. You're seeing people getting beat as they're walking across the bridge in Selma. So you're seeing all these images, um, and so that's important to understand the context to say of something like Letter from Birmingham Jail, or Harrison Bergeron. If you're in my honors class, this is definitely something you're definitely going to want to dig deep into. So that bleeds into context. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to talk about context during the writer's purpose conversation. And so that's some of the things that you want to know when it comes to writer's purpose. You want to know about the writer, you want to know about their background, their writing life, you want to know all the nuts and bolts things: family, education, jobs, age, anything like that. Really, all the things about their bio. So you want to pull their bio, and you want to pull more than one bio, because you'll have something like maybe the biography channel, because a lot of students pull the biography channel information because they're really good, but that information is very short. It's usually like a paragraph or two, versus something you get from the databases, where you'll get a long, kind of like intricate, very well thought out bio that includes maybe the themes and subject that the writer usually writes about. And then you want to think about the conversation that the writer is having. That goes into context a little bit. So during the writer's purpose, you may not want to do a heavy think about it, but maybe you want to kind of jot it down and say, if I'm looking at a Letter from Birmingham Jail, I'm going to need to look at the civil rights movement. I'm going to need to look at why he was in prison in Birmingham. I'm going to have to look at the letter that he is responding to, right? Because he's having a conversation um, with these with these men of the cloth who said, "Why are you even here in Birmingham?" Right? So this is writer's purpose, and so I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to go to the next one, to the next step. Uh, that's not writer's purpose, in another video. So I hope that this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you soon. Bye.